Hi, my Light Fragments soul family. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Susie, and I am so happy that you are here with me today, the beginning of this week and the day before Halloween. We have an interesting video for you today, and I say we because of my team that you can't see around me. First of all, if you could do me a favor, and if you could like my channel, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, it will push the videos out to YouTube universe, and the videos will be seen by other people. So once you do that, it's out of your hands and it's out of my hands. And I like it that way. But if you could be so kind to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you in advance. Today is going to be an interesting video. I am taking a content creator's version, step by step, of how she puts on her makeup. And last week I studied her. I studied her putting on her makeup while she was talking, and I took down notes because I said, wow, I really like the way she's doing this. I like her process. And so I decided to do that process with all of you today, right now. So let's get started. I'm going to clip my bangs up. Looks a little nicer on my headband. There's a method to my madness. Now, I already have my lipstick on, and that is because I have a brewing cold sore. And after all these years, I have learned how to diminish the longevity of my cold sores, and also how to apply lipstick without compromising the lipstick, so I can use it over and over again and not give myself repeated cold sores. They're seasonal for me. I get one in the fall. I get one right around Christmas time or into January when it gets really cold here in the Northeast, and early spring. So I have been taking a supplement, but I usually only take the supplement at the onset of my cold sore. But if you look close, you might be able to detect where my cold sore is, but I have gotten so good at putting on lipstick over cold sores, I don't think you'll be able to tell. I'm 3 days in now. Actually, 3 days? Yeah, today is my third day. And let me tell you, I would have a cold sore for 10 days without it healing. So if anybody wants to know how to do that, just let me know in the comment section and I will let you know what to do. Okay, getting on with this video. So the first thing that this content creator did was she started off with her eyebrows. Now, I don't use a brow wax because my eyebrows are not thick like they used to be before I plucked them in the 90s. And so I'm just going to use my Gimme Brow gel to do my eyebrows the way I normally do them. This eyebrow I had already started doing, but my phone cut out. We have some poor weather this way. It's raining and it's cold and it's nasty. And sometimes that affects my cell phone reception. I don't live in a big city, so our cell phone reception is iffy over here. Let me take a look and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Then what she does is she puts on her eye primer. So we're going to do that next. And I have had this eye primer for well over a year from Nicole Johnson Cosmetics. So she puts her eye primer on with a brush. I use my finger. In fact, let me see what it's like if I use, well, I have a dense brush on with my feather, so I can't use that. Let me see what it's like if I use one of my dense brushes. I mean, I might really enjoy this more. But this is how she puts on her eye primer. And it looked like she had a Sigma brush that she used. She didn't really mention. Okay, this brush is, it's dense, but it's not real dense. I have another one somewhere. I just don't want to take the time to look for it, friends. In fact, I'm thinking of going through my brushes. And I'm thinking of consolidating my brushes into two parts. The brushes that I absolutely positively love and frequently use, and the brushes that I occasionally use, rather than having all these brushes that I have to thumb through. Some of you have asked me to show my beauty studio, which I mentioned is about, I don't know. It's actually 5 feet by 7 feet. So I was wrong in the footage. It's 5 feet wide, about, and it's 7 feet long, which I can make it longer, but I'm not doing that right now. We still have our business paperwork from 2016. So 7 years. It'll be almost 8 years. And the rule of thumb is that you need to keep all of that paperwork 7 or 8 years. After that, it's insignificant. And so I'm keeping it all. And that is my wall in front of me. But once that's gone and out of here, I'm going to be moving more ahead. Have my studio. That'll give me another 2 feet, actually. So, but that's my wall, and I have that covered. I kind of like using the brush, you guys, because I can get right here in the corner. And I can get real close under my eyebrow. I think I just decided to change my way of putting on my eye primer. So why don't I put on my face primer? I haven't been using face primer because I've been using my serum. But this is one of my favorite products. It's the Michillo face primer, and so I'm just going to put some of this on. I'm even going to go under my eye a little bit with it. I mean, I just dip my finger into this, and it spreads all over my face. It is like the directions say you only need a pea size for your whole face. Anything more than that is too much primer. face primer. And I'm going to tell you something. I have issues with primers. I don't care for them at all. The ones that I have tried, I do not care for. As a matter of fact, I haven't even been desiring to try any from any beauty brand. I don't care how much publicity they get. I've just been using my serum on my skin in the morning after I cleanse it, and that I let it sink in, and that has been my primer. But I want you to look at my skin right now. Take a look. This is like flawless. I'm telling you, this primer, because this takes the cake. And if you purchase this primer, you will agree. Look at this. I mean, it is a gel formula, and it's still almost full. It's amazing. Now, you may want a little bit more than a pea size, but a pea size works for me. It works great, but look at my face. You can see the difference already. All right, now for the eyeshadow, and we are going to use the Natasha Denona. I did one eye already to shorten the video because I want to discuss a topic with all of you that came to my attention last week prior to the full moon. I'm starting off with this color right here that I used the other day in the last video, which I will link up here or up here. I don't know which side. It goes where the card goes. And I'm going to put this all over my lid as the transition color. So the topic that came to me because of something that I am dealing with personally, I feel will help many of you. And the topic is letting go and release. Now, many spiritual people will lump letting go and release in the same category. And it's true. There are some similarities between letting go and releasing. For instance, if you release something, like if you're holding on to your dog while you're walking your dog and you unhook the leash from the collar, you're giving that dog permission to be free, to run free. If you are letting that dog go, the hold on that dog is stronger than if you were walking the dog with a leash. So you might have that dog by the collar, and that dog just wants to run. And as soon as you let go of your hand on that collar, phew, that dog is gone. Similarly, it's like holding a bird. Okay? If you have a bird that you're getting ready to release, you're holding on to this bird in constraint. And once you open your hands, you're letting it, you're giving it permission to go. The releasing part is when you hold the bird in your hand freely. The bird's sitting there. Okay, it landed on your hand. And you're not doing anything to it. You're not holding it there. You're not telling it, okay, go. You know how sometimes they'll take pigeons and they'll just toss them into the air? Or hawks. Do you watch people that train hawks? Well, it's the same kind of thing. They let them go. Carrier pigeons, they let them go. But releasing is gentler. Releasing is something that just kind of happens. So it's the byproduct of letting go. And if you're holding that bird on the palm of your hand, you're giving it permission to fly away when it's ready. So for me, in thinking about this, the letting go process is more abrupt. And it's used just all over the place. Letting go is like a person about facing on their heels and walking in the other direction. Like, I'm done with you. We can't communicate. We can't talk. It can be rough and it can be gentle, the about face, just to turn and walk away. That is a more that is a better description of letting go. It's the same as holding the dog by the collar, yanking the dog back a little bit, and then taking your hand away. You realize that, you have no control over this animal at the moment. There's something that the animal sees, like if you're in a field or whatever. As I wouldn't just let my animal go like that, but there are animals that are trained to find people, to find bodies, to fetch pheasant. Okay, so they're held on to until the time is right. Tracking dogs are held on to till the time is right. That's a letting go. The releasing is as if you're walking a dog on a leash and you're in a park and it's all fenced in and your dog wants to play with the other dogs. So you just unhook the leash. It's a more gentle form of letting go. But they work together. Because oftentimes when we let go of something, we're still kind of holding on to it. It's bugging us in the mind. It's bugging us in the heart. We keep ruminating over it. And it isn't until we have gently released the energy of all of it to the point where it no longer infiltrates our minds and our hearts. It no longer surfaces. It no longer bothers us. The reason that I'm talking to you about this is because I have had many situations that have recently resurfaced in my mind that I thought that I had let go of. I'm going to let go of that dog in a minute if he doesn't quiet his mouth. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Down to Junior's farm and on and on. I'm gonna go and get that dog. Put him outside around. He's bugging me. Some of you, up until the full moon, may have felt this strong desire to let go and then totally release situations that keep coming up for you in your mind and in your heart. And if you have, I get it. Believe me, I get it. So underneath my eyebrow, I just used this shimmer right here on both eyes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dark brown color right here, which I love this color because it shears out just so gorgeous. And I'm going to put that right here on the outer portion of my eye. And then I'm going to sweep it into my crease with the same brush. Now, don't worry if it's not totally blended in when you sweep it. And then I'm going to dab again and bring more of that over into the mauve color. Okay, this side looks a little darker than this side. Could be the lighting, so I'm going to add a little bit more right there. See how I slanted that? And I'm going to bring it over. I want a darker eye. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush off my brush. I'm going to go back to this color right here. And I'm going to sweep it over to the brown. And then sweep back. So I'm blending both of these colors together. I did that over here, but I'll do it again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sigma pencil brush, go into that brown, and just drag it under my eye. Now, this content creator, she does this last. I'm not going to do this going under the eye last because when I use my concealer, I can go up closer to that line if I feel that it's too thick. I think that's pretty even. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sigma fluffy brush and I'm just going to blend this again together with the shimmer. This side is more crisp than this side. So I'm going to take my pencil brush and I'm just going to crisp that up. We can also fix this with concealer. That's all I'm doing for eyeshadow. If you want to make it more dramatic, you can go back with a darker shimmer. So I'm going to take this shimmer right here. And I'm just going to pop it really close to my eyelid. I'm not going to go all the way up with it. I'm just going to pop it right here. So it's in the center of my eyelid, but close to my eyelashes. Sometimes I go straight up, but I'm not doing that today. Put Natasha back. Thank you so much. Now we're moving on to mascara. I am going to curl my eyelashes put my mascara on, and I will be right back. I'm going to use my Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, which I feel is one of the best foundations on the market. And I was going to throw this away because I had a problem with the pump. But it's like down to about here because I used it so much last year. I'm going to use it today. This is an absolutely gorgeous foundation. This is the color Santa Fe, and it is the perfect color for my face. So that's what I'm putting on for foundation. And remember I told you guys that this brush right here could be used as a foundation brush. I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to wipe it off with my cloth because I've only really used it for powder. And I'm going to see how this works as a foundation brush because I like the angle of it. I have many foundation brushes, but I love the angle of this brush. Wow, that's nice and clean. It really wasn't that dirty because I only used it for powder. But let's see. I'm going to... So this content creator now puts on her foundation. And she does not put her concealer on yet. I also liked that idea. And I am going to keep this process. She's not a makeup artist. She just really takes good care of how she puts on her makeup. And she does purchase high-end makeup. I purchase whatever I want or whatever I have a desire to purchase. I have all kinds. I've got some higher end makeup, but I kind of draw the line at $65. I have been wanting to try Tom Ford, and I'm not paying $150 for foundation. No way. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Unless I start making buku bucks here on YouTube, I would do it for you guys, but I've got to make a little bit more money than that. And I'll let you know exactly what I think about it. Yeah, it's an investment to have a channel, but, you can be selective. So far, this brush works really nicely. And the primer makes all the difference. Look at this foundation. I'm going to order another bottle of this because it really was my favorite foundation. And then the House Labs was my favorite. And I've tried other foundations that I absolutely love. And you can see how messy this is because I don't have a pump anymore. I have to use my finger. I'll put that back. Okay, now what she does is she puts on her concealer. And this is how she puts her concealer on. Okay? I would probably take a little bit and dab it right here. Such a lovely foundation. I apologize. My husband just came home and the dogs went crazy. And then she takes a damp sponge and she just kind of blends it in. And she uses the sponge by pinching it under her eye. Whereas I've used a concealer brush. Then she goes around with the clean side of her sponge and she just kind of pats it all in, blends it all in. Now what this content creator does is she powders the areas that she put her concealer. So let's do that. I'm going to use the Fit Me finishing powder because I really like it. I'm going to put a little bit in the lid. The color that I use is medium. And she just lightly powders under her eyes. Now this content creator is 23 years younger than me. And I've been following her for a while. And I love watching her put on makeup. I love it. Anytime she puts a full face of makeup on, because she doesn't always. She talks about other things. I am right there to watch. So those are the only places that she powders, where I just powdered. Okay, we're going to put that back. And by the way, I paused, you guys. I ran downstairs. I looked in my 10-time magnifying mirror. And the way that she does it, it looks gorgeous. I don't have a lot of creasing. It's beautiful. Okay, so the next thing that she does is she puts on bronzer. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my LYS bronzer with a brush. And I'm just going to brush some of the bronzer on here. And that's all she does. Just like that. She uses a cream bronzer. I'm going to put a little bit right here, even though I wear bangs. And if you notice, there's still bronzer on my brush. So this LYS bronzer will last you a long time. And I'm going to go where my jawline is. I did bring foundation down my neck, so I'm basically just blending it in with my foundation. You can make a V. Just make sure that you blend it out and down. Okay, because you don't want there to be this stark line of demarcation. And to help you with this, here's another little tip. Because some women talk about this line of demarcation. Take your damp sponge and just go along your jawline with it. Now what I'm going to see, you can see it on here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my damp sponge and I'm just going to blend in this bronzer. Right where it's supposed to be. See how pretty that looks? I'm using all of her techniques, which you know, are foreign to me. I do things differently, but I am really liking this process. Can you see? This side always looks brighter. And I think it's because my mirror is right here on this side. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to do the same up here. Just blend this in with my moist sponge. Now this is the e.l.f. concealer sponge, but I find that it works really well as, you know, doing something like this with contour and also for blending because it's wide. Really love this sponge. And then from there, she goes on with her blush. Up to my temples. See that? Same on this side. And you can swirl it into the bronzer or contour if you wish. I think it looks pretty that way. Put a little bit right here, what's left on the brush. Come down my nose. Take a little bit, just to give myself some pink color on my chin. And let's see, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter because I really like it. I am looking to try another highlighter. She uses a fan brush and she gently fans the tops of her cheekbones. Now, for those of you that have wrinkles, if you are worried about your wrinkles showing with a highlighter, let me give you my experience. I have told you that I use my husband. I don't say anything, right? I use him as my person that I get feedback from. And I don't say anything. And usually it's if we're going to jump in the car. So it's if the sun is out, the way the light hits my face or whatever. And if he tells me that he likes the way my cheeks sparkle or my nose sparkles or whatever it is, and I've put my highlighter on, then I know that he's seeing it. He wouldn't tell me if he didn't like it. He's just not that kind of guy. He doesn't, you know, he would more tell me something he doesn't like than something he likes. Okay? But when he compliments me on something like this, I know that it's the truth. So I'm telling you, ladies, because I don't want you to be afraid to use. See, you can see my wrinkles. I'm going to get in. If I go like that, no wrinkles. If I go like this, you can see my wrinkles. See them? See my wrinkles? I hope my phone is focusing. And then her last step is her lipstick, which I have already put on. So I'm going to take my bangs down now. Be well, be blessed, be beautiful, because you are, because there is nobody else on the planet like you. I sincerely hope that you stop by more often. So know that I love you. Know that it takes work to let go of whatever it is that's not serving you in love, and then releasing it from you, from your mind, from your heart, from your body. Memories remain in our muscle tissues. Muscle has memory. The heart is a muscle. The heart has memory. The brain has memory. That we all know. So in letting go, it's the decision. And releasing is the allowing yourself to once and for all release that which you have held on to for so long, and allow God to heal you inside and out. So yes, letting go and releasing do work together, but they are separate. And it's not just the letting go, because resentment and bitterness and anger and grief can stay inside of you. It's the constant choice to release. As soon as that thought that comes in from 15, 20, 30 years ago, you make the conscious choice to release that back to God for as many times as you need to. And eventually, it will no longer permeate your being. It will truly dissipate and be gone. And you will be left with a heart full of love and forgiveness, a mind that is clear, and a body that is healthier. Until next time. You know I love ya. Take care, my friends.